As we said before, just a seed is never a complete panacea. Integrated management is needed. If you use a single herbicide over and over, you're going to select for weeds that are resistant to the herbicide. And we are seeing that. We have been seeing this even before introduction of genetically engineered crops. Just any herbicide you spray over and over, you're going to have resistant weeds. In Canada, they've seen less of a problem because they have a 3-year rotation. They're integrating different types of management strategies, and they're using different types of herbicides as well. So it's really critical to control weeds not to only rely simply on genetically engineered seed, but to use multiple herbicides, crop rotation, and still use somewhat a bit of tilling. And Raul wanted me to mention this slide because there are more and more farmers that are trying to use the modern genetic technologies in combinations with some practices from organic farming. And this is an example from Matt Liebman, where he combines both organic farming practices and genetically engineered crops to achieve the goal of sustainability. So he has developed a system that includes compost, the use of legumes, and an expanded rotation, which includes alfalfa and wheat, as well as corn and soybean. And using this approach, he was able to reduce his herbicides by 82%, reduce nitrogen use by 74%, compared to conventionally grown genetically engineered corn and soybean. And his net returns were greater using this mixed system. And finally, I have to mention this, safety. We do know that genetic engineering is a different technique. It's been used for 20 years, whereas we've had what we can call primitive genetic alterations for 10,000 years. We've had conventional methods for 100 years, genetic engineering for 20 years. So what is the difference between these? They all introduce changes in the genetics. But the National Academy of Sciences and virtually every other agency from all over the world have come to the same conclusion, which is the process of genetic engineering, precision breeding, and conventional breeding presents similar risks. And it's really important to consider that each crop has to be looked at on a case-by-case basis. It doesn't make sense to say all GMOs are good or all GMOs are bad, because it's meaningless. You really need to consider the crop and the environment and the goal. What is the goal of that genetically engineered crop? There's been more than 1 billion acres of crops planted over the last 20 years, and there's still not been a single case of adverse health or environmental impacts. So for these reasons, the consensus in the scientific community is there's no basis for ruling out genetic engineering as a tool for crop improvement.